Well, hello there, people. It is 10:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the great state of Florida, and I just got a hankering to grab a microphone and yap for a little bit. So, if you don't want to listen, click off the video. If you want to go along for an interesting ride, maybe it's not an interesting ride. We're gonna find out together. Stick around, because I'm just in the chatter spirit. I don't know what I want to talk about, but I've had a lot of mixed emotions about the Dolphins over the last 2 weeks. Like every piece of content that I've made over the summer has been primarily negative when I'm talking about the Dolphins, and that truly reflects how I feel about the team. It has been a very lackluster summer emotionally. To be a Dolphins fan, there's not been a lot of good to hold on to. I mean, draft was okay, free agency was okay, but it feels like you really gotta search now for positive news about the Dolphins, where we kind of got accustomed. Excuse me, sorry, that's gonna happen probably again. Just ate dinner. What was I saying? We got accustomed to good news. We got, even if it didn't obviously end up how we thought it would, at the very least, we went like a solid 3 off seasons in a row, maybe 4, maybe 5. I mean, depending on how delusional you are, and I've certainly been known to be delusional at times, and certainly Donovan is delusional in my opinion on a regular basis. But there are some of you guys, and probably me included, that have been delusional up to this point for probably about 5 or 6 off seasons. Really, when Tua first joined the team is when my delusions started. I was believe it or not, I was a massive Tua guy when he was in college. I, for one, completely misunderstood who he was as a player. I don't claim to be a great talent evaluator. That is, I do go based a lot on eye test, and my eye test might not be the most reliable thing in the world, but it's better than it used to be. And for some reason, I convinced myself that Tua would be the reincarnation of Russell Wilson, which at the time was certainly a good thing. Russell Wilson certainly had a lot more going for him than he currently does. And I saw Tua as somebody who's mobile, who has a big arm in college. He could run people over. I mean, we saw him doing it in high school. So I'm like, oh, he did in high school, so he's probably going to continue to do that in the NFL, despite the fact that the human beings that he's going to be facing off in the NFL are sometimes 420 pounds. So, yeah, that ain't happening. My brother just got home. He's going to have to hear this a little bit. I had that delusion about him, therefore I had that delusion about the team. I mean, I still like the guy. I still root for the guy to win. I still think, to an extent, he can. I think things are going to have to go really perfect for him to win a Super Bowl. And there are worse things to say about a quarterback than that, because Jalen Hurts is in literally the perfect situation for a quarterback, especially of his type that can move. There was a bit of an opinion for a while that having a mobile quarterback would be a detriment to the running back. Well, now you look at Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. I don't know if there's a better combination to win in the end. I think if the Bills had a Saquon Barkley or a Derrick Henry, they could win the Super Bowl this year. And I don't care about how any part of the rest of the team looks. I don't care about how their receiving game looks. I don't care about the receiving core, about how it's so lackluster. I don't care if they've had veterans retire recently. I don't care if Von Miller just signed with the Commanders. If they had a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley or even a Josh Jacobs, you don't need top 5, but certainly top 7 Pro Bowl regular caliber running back that can run through somebody, I think the Bills, you can make an easy argument for them to win the Super Bowl, just like you can make an easy argument for the Eagles to do it again. And with that template, Jalen Hurts fits so perfectly in with a great running back alongside him, 2 great wide receivers, a great tight end, a great offensive line. This is not to take away from what Jalen Hurts has done. He is a great quarterback, and in my opinion, he's now underrated for what he does. Because I think a lot of people have forgotten how good he was in the Super Bowl they lost. Go back and watch the highlights of what he did. Some of the throws he made in that game looked very similar to what we saw in the Super Bowl from him. Great quarterback, great situation, perfect situation. Tua, if he's going to get to that level, he's obviously not going to be, it's not going to be the same recipe because that's not the type of quarterback he is. But the quarterback that he is, there is a way. A very fine needle, very, very, very fine needle, because how many quarterbacks of his stature and play style have actually won the Super Bowl? Drew Brees. Someone's going to probably name somebody. That guy too. Tall guys that can take a hit, even if they're not necessarily mobile, but they can take a hit, typically win. And I want him to succeed. I genuinely do. But the delusion started there, and then he got his off season. And my opinion of that was, he is now just another year removed from the hip injury, and now he's going to be more explosive. He's going to throw the ball downfield. And he wasn't. He wasn't explosive. And he wasn't able to throw the ball downfield. And the Dolphins had a 500 flip-flop one way or another for 17 games. It probably was 8-9, 9-8, whatever. That's what the season they had. And I'm like, okay, well, the offense wasn't great. Brian Flores isn't. Well, actually, I still love Brian Flores at the time. And then they had another season. And another season. And another season. And it's just gotten harder and harder to have that same guile, whatever. If the Dolphins had Josh Allen, I'd be perfectly content with the limitations that he appears to have. I would break your hand shaking it if right now I could say, hey, look, Dolphins, their ceiling is the AFC Championship game. I'm going to switch hands on you. Can't let you know which way I'm going. I'll take that. I will take that. I have not seen us win a playoff game. I will take that. So this negative energy, I don't need to keep going on. This negative energy is what I've been feeling a lot this offseason. But then, just right there. Just right there. It's like, all right, well, okay. What if we're not negative? Will we look at last year and say, what could potentially go wrong? You got a bingo card. Bingo card, crazy things are on there. No way it's going to hit. No way Tyreek Hill is going to get arrested before our week 1 game. No chance. No chance he's already going into the season with an injury, and then he injures himself, or is injured week 1 by a cop. B4. Tua's going to get concussion. Oh, that was a free space. Boom. Free space. Right there. Offensive line was going to stink. Oh. Free space. Edges get hurt. Oh my gosh, that's another free space. This is easy. You know this is all going to happen. You could line up a bingo card upside down, diagonal, whatever you want to do. If you just could have guessed beginning of year, things that could go wrong, probably did go wrong. So I say all that to say that is true. So much that could have gone wrong did go wrong. Pretty much everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. We had a chance of making the playoffs in the last game of the season. And I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that my negativity towards this team, which is evident by the lack of videos. There's a very misconception now. I'm somebody who over the last 15 years has consumed a lot of sports talk, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be Fox Sports, whether it be ESPN, whether it be whatever. Less and less ESPN, less and less Fox Sports, a lot more just YouTube. I've consumed a lot of YouTube sports talk. And there's a common misconception that it is easier to make content when the team is doing bad, and that misconception absolutely infuriates me. I am a Dolphins fan. We are perpetually bad. The best time I had making content was when we traded for Tyreek Hill, when we were arguably the best team in the league. I loved coming on here and just being like, yeah, we're good. I felt connected. I felt like I had something to root for. I don't feel that right now. And I haven't felt that a lot of my time as a Miami Dolphins fan. I want to feel that. So to say that I would rather, not, no one's actually said this, but to say sports content people in general would rather that happen. If that's the case, they don't love their teams. If they truly have an easier time making content when things are going bad, you don't love your team. And I'm like, hey, no rules. I like two football teams. All right, there's a Lamar Jackson thing right there. I love Lamar Jackson. Do I have anything else? Oh, I went to FAU. I'm a Gators fan. I got a University of Oregon thing right there. I got different NASCAR die-cast cars of different racers that I all liked in this room. Ravens Cup right there. I don't even really like the Knicks. I got a Knicks Cup right there. I support them, but not a fan. Warriors Cup right here. I do like the Warriors. I love me some Steph Curry. All right, I love supporting my teams, and I'm not going to tell you how to support your team. But if you have a easier time talking about your team when things are going wrong, I don't know how you can genuinely say you love your team. For better or worse, I love the Dolphins, and it's been a very toxic relationship, in a relationship that I have not gotten a lot in return from, but I still love them, and I'm not going to change that. So I would love to sit here and be positive. I think I hit points, and then that point is taking me to another point. That point is taking me to another point. I told y'all I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was on the couch, decided, you know what, I want to do this. Here I am. All this negativity that I feel. They were 8-9 last year. What if things start going right? What if Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill again? What if the signings and draft picks spent on the offensive line end up working? What if Ollie Gordon is good? What if we got a steal in the draft? Year 2 Chop Robinson, a healthy edge group. First round pick, second round pick used on the offense in defensive line at positions of need. Okay, we didn't get a splash signing. In fact, we let 2 splash players go in Jonnu and Jalen Ramsey, but we got younger. We got Minka, which is still weird, and I'm not going to believe it's real until I see him out on the field wearing who. Imagine if I was him, I'd probably pick another jersey, because there's so many people that are happy because they kept their Minka Fitzpatrick jersey. But what if he just decides to change it? What if he takes 8? Now you got Javon Holland 8 and Minka Fitzpatrick 29. You really look like a buffoon if you're wearing either of those jerseys. But what if he's good? What if he gets better when he wasn't that good last year? I don't know. It's possible. I'm not saying it's probable. We can make the playoffs, and if you make it, you have a chance. I stand by that. I truly believe if you make the playoffs, you have a chance. So we'll see. I don't think this is going to be the last time I do something like this. 14 minutes, give or take, of yapping. If you watch this far, I appreciate you. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.